Hello everyone. So I'm going to do a quick run through, kind of an advanced power config tutorial for MythicDrops. Um, I'm going to assume that you've installed and at least played around with the plugin a little bit. You've read through all the config files at least one time, so you aren't going to be totally unaware of anything that I do or say. I just kind of want to go through, for this video, the drop chances. It seems a bit confusing when you get into it, and it kind of actually is, so I wanted to, I don't know, give you a foundation that you can build off of. So, let's get into it. Your spawn, like the default config file, when you put this plugin on your server, is going to contain a chance percentage mob spawn with item chance. So, okay, this is your global chance to drop. Any mob that's killed is going to be checked against this percentage. Any that's going to compound against your tiers and your sockets and all that. So starting with this value, 1/4, 25%. So let's look at zombies for chances to further build upon, you know, the control you have over that number. If you're, I don't know, your basic server is going to have a lot of zombies being killed a lot. So you might want to lower the chance that they can drop an item because they're just killed so much that, you know, it's more common. You don't want anything too good or too, you know, numerous coming from them. So you can lower the chance here. Any zombie that's killed with this config of 0.5 is now halved against the global chance. So any zombie that's killed is being checked as a, what is it, a 12.5% chance to drop. So then that value is now being checked further against your tiers. For Indrik has a 20% chance to drop. So now your 12.5 is being multiplied against 0.2, 20%. It's a 2.5% chance to see an Indrik item drop. From a player point of view, if you kill a zombie. See how that compounds? If I'm a player on my server with these current configs, which I have not uploaded, but if I killed a zombie, it would have a 2.5% chance of dropping Indrik, because the tier is 20% multiplied against the chance that that zombie I just killed can spawn an item, which is 0.5 times, oops, and then again times the global chance of 0.25. So there it is, 2.5% chance. Where else to go with this? You have, okay, well, it's a little confusing of a concept because the default configs do it backwards, but let me demonstrate. An Indrik you saw is a, well, I haven't changed any of the defaults, so it's every mob has an equal chance, and I don't think that applies to configs anyways. Like if you run a spawn command in game, that isn't gonna multiply anything against chance to drop from mobs, because you're not, you know, you're just running a command. You're checking just the tier chances. So what I wanted to point out is, despite the fact that an Indrik is a 20%, quote-unquote, 20% chance to be given, that's relative to, of course, the global value. So 0.25 times 0.2, for the purpose of a command, it'd be a 5% chance that I would get an Indrik drop. So if I were to see 100 items, I should consistently get at least one Indrik. But that is not ever going to be the case because of the way the configs are set up by default. I'm going to clear my, you know, keep spawning a bunch of items and showing you, but Indrik just will never, is so rare to pop up in your spawn commands. This is multiplying straight against the tier and the global chance to spawn an item. The reason for this, despite it being as you saw, it's a 5% chance, I should have easily seen one by now in all these items that I've spawned. It's checking the tiers list from top to bottom. It's, see there, it finally hit a Netheric, I'll throw that out. So it's checking down the list top to bottom for chances, which means it's checking common, uncommon, rare, Teric, Netheric before it ever gets to Indrik, and it's measly 5% chance to drop. And what happens is anything that confirms as a drop before, so all of these commons and uncommons and rares I'm getting, when they drop, they have the chance of all remaining drops. Like, it's just the basic function of the plugin. I'm not sure. This is the author's decision. So when a drop is performed or spawned by MythicDrops, it halves the remaining chances for all the other drops. And it reads for drops from top to bottom through your files. So, despite it being a 5% chance that an Indrik tier should drop, it is going to be vastly less. Because it is ordered with the more common stuff up top. So if you want accurate drop chances for your items on your server, you should absolutely order them from least to greatest, top to bottom, with your very rarest at the very start. So if I wanted an Indrik to have an actual 2.5 or 5% drop rate, I would simply move this to the top of the config file and start spamming items again. And I promise you, it would drop exactly, whatever the chance was. At least through commands, and then it'll multiply the mob chances for mobs, of course, things like that. I don't know how much more detailed I can go on the chances. It's the same for socket and custom items. They each have a custom item as a chance to spawn the custom item, which is multiplied against the custom drop chance if they're enabled. I don't use custom items, but that custom drop chance is the same as spawn. Oh no, it's not. The spawn chance global will never change unless you change it, even for custom items. So what's going to happen is the custom item, this Nachi and Sword, if I enable custom items, will have a 100% chance to be the one that is picked from the custom list, which is only going to happen 10% of the time. So the global chance 0.25 times the 10% chance that it's going to spawn a custom item. So I'm looking at a 2.5% drop rate as well if I enable custom items for this one basic Nachi and Sword. If I were to change this to 0.5, I would now multiply this by 0.5, and it's reduced to a 1 1/4 chance to drop as a custom item, because it is multiplying the chance of the item against the value of dropping a custom item at all from your global chance to spawn with an item. So yeah, it gets a little confusing, but I hope I've kind of explained it well enough that you can now run rampant and make crazy awesome servers full of custom drops. Just remember, top to bottom, least to greatest for your chances, and that everything is multiplied just against each other. The tiers are multiplied against the mob chance, which is multiplied against the global chance. The socket gems, their chance is multiplied against the chance here, which is multiplied against this chance here. It's not very well explained, I guess, at first glance, but there you have it. I'm going to make another video on all the intricacies of naming and displaying, because you have all these crazy vast custom items. Now you got to name them and make them logical. Well, at least in my mind. I'll give you a bit of a preview of what you can do with that in the next video. Please stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed.